Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected dignitaries, honored scholars, distinguished delegates, and dear participants, today we are living in an era of rapid technological transformation, especially in the financial sector. Fintech has fundamentally changed our traditional systems from payments to funding by offering greater transparency and efficiency. As we know, in modern crowdfunding platforms, technology now allows for every rupee to be tracked with precision, knowing exactly where comes from and where it is being utilized. In a country like India, many people still remain outside the formal financial fold. This is often due to the limitations of traditional banking institutions and intermediary-based systems. To bridge this gap and achieve true financial inclusion, we need innovative solutions that are both technologically advanced and ethically grounded. Following Professor Dr. Ziyad Mahmood's insightful session on the Sharia parameters for digital assets, we are now moved to more practical discussion. In this session, we will explore how Islamic fintech and blockchain technology can be effectively utilized in the Indian context to benefit the common man while staying true to Sharia principles and maqad as-Sharia. The topic of the session, Islamic Fintech and Blockchain Technology, their role in promoting financial inclusion in India, is highly relevant in our present scenario. It invites us to rethink how modern technology can be aligned with ethical values to address long-standing challenges in access to finance and social equity. To lead this important session, we are honored to have a highly qualified expert joining us virtually from Malaysia. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome Mr. Saif Khan, founder and CEO of iWealthX Malaysia. He is currently pursuing his PhD at INSUF University, Malaysia, and possesses vast knowledge and expertise in the field of fintech. As a leader in developing technology-based Sharia-compliant financial solutions, its expertise will undoubtedly provide us with a clear roadmap for ethical and inclusive financial growth. I warmly invite Mr. Saif Khan to share his insights and begin this virtual session.
Thank you very much, dear brother. Am I audible?
It's audible. You can proceed.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Kareem, Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. The organizers of the International Fiqh Conference, the first of its kind in India, Alhamdulillah, the Department of Sharia, WAFY campus, my dear friend Sahlur Rahman, the program conveners, respected guests, and my dear friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The introduction captured the essence of what is important for us in the future. And as I stand virtually today to speak with you, I am reminded of this great work that you guys at the campus are doing, which is around synthesis. You are merging the revealed knowledge with the rational knowledge. You are producing scholars who can possibly read Fath al-Bari in the morning and in the afternoon can analyze a balance sheet from the company in the afternoon. And it is this spirit of synthesis that brings me to my topic. today. We are often told that we must choose faith or finance, tradition or technology, the local village or the global market. I'm here to tell you today that this is a false choice. It doesn't have to be that way. I'm here to present to you a new framework, a synthesis of Fiqh and Fintech, and I call that the architecture of Barakah. My dear brothers and sisters, let's look at the land of Kerala. Let's look at the economic reality. Kerala is a blessed land. We have the highest literacy in the country. We have a global diaspora. We have immense wealth flowing from different parts of the world, from the Gulf and from many other countries. But where does this wealth go? Walk into any bank in Malappuram or Kochi and you will see a lot of gold stored in bank lockers, tons of it, sleeping. Walk into our towns, you will find beautiful mansions which are locked for almost 11 months a year, empty. This is wealth. Of course it is wealth. Yes, it is. But is it barakah? Think about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a very specific economic policy guideline in Surah Al-Hashr, verse number 7, which talks about the distribution of the spoils of war. And there's one very specific statement which says that the wealth may not become a circuit between the wealthy among you, meaning that the wealth does not circulate only among the wealthy, it must be distributed, it must be shared. And this is the central principle on which an Islamic society must be established. One is wealth creation, and the second one is wealth distribution or circulation. If we do not do this, then we will be hoarding our wealth. We will be practicing something called ikhtinaz, which is not recommended. Wealth is like water. If it flows, it gives life. It is pure. But when it's locked up, when it's stagnant, it becomes dangerous. It gets spoiled. So we should be thinking about not locking our wealth in gold bars or empty mansions, but ensuring that we are circulating it. But does this mean we do not have wealth? Of course we have wealth. We're technically saving, but structurally we are starving the economy and the Muslim economy in particular of growth by hoarding that wealth. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The honest and trustworthy merchant is with the prophets, the truthful ones, and the martyrs." Now, all of you know this hadith, right? Why did he say this? He said this because the merchant takes a risk. He uses his capital, creates jobs, creates wealth, shares it with the society. And the challenge for us in 2026 is, how do we become that honest merchant in a digital world? If you look at the evolution of business over the last 1,000 years, it started off in a very simple, direct manner where merchants would share the risk. And About 800 years ago, or a little later than that, we came to a point where conventional banking moved the risk sharing principle to a complete risk transfer principle, which led to the growth of riba. And today, most banking is based on risk transfer, which does not help the economy. So it's important for us to go back to the basics that are outlined in the Quran and the Sunnah, and look at how can we as people with wealth become the honest merchant using digital assets. And with technology, that is a possibility today. One of the key tools in wealth creation and distribution is fintech. For decades, people thought, and they had an excuse. People would say, I've got a few thousand, so I cannot buy, you know, property. I cannot invest in assets like a solar farm or a gold mine or a coal mine. I can't do anything because I have very little money. So let me just buy gold. Now technology has removed that excuse. Technology allows for what is called fractionalization, and this concept of real world asset tokenization has really taken off in the last 5 to 8 years. The concept of real world asset tokenization is not new. It has been there for many, many years in the financial industry for securitization. But with technology, this has made it very easy for the common person to invest in very high quality real world assets. Take this example. If you have to invest in a solar farm, you will historically you would need a lot of money, because the entry point, the minimum amount needed to invest in a solar farm is fairly high. But if I were to take a solar farm or solar panel and using blockchain technology, divide that panel into small pieces and make it available for people to invest in that, and the resulting sale of power would be the profit for the token holder who owns a portion of the solar panel. It becomes a legitimate trade. It becomes as real as you buying a portion of the solar farm. And today that's possible with blockchain and tokenization. So when you hear of tokens, most of you may be very scared. You might think that this could be the next scam. This is not real. But there are different types of tokens. Bitcoin is also a token, but Bitcoin is a non-asset backed token, meaning there is no underlying asset that is giving value to Bitcoin. It's pure speculation in terms of demand and supply. So it's very easy for people with a lot of money to move the market. If you buy a lot of Bitcoin, the price would go up because people are buying and therefore there's demand. And let's say you sell a lot of Bitcoin, let's say an institution or a rich guy like Elon Musk sells a lot of Bitcoin, there could be panic. Now, there is no underlying asset driving the value of that type of coin. That is indeed very speculative and may not be real. There's a lot of difference of opinion between scholars in the Islamic world on Bitcoin per se. But what we are proposing and what we are building with iWealthX are asset-backed coins, tokens. We will tokenize revenue generating real assets, which give people ownership in a real asset which has a proper business model, which allows you to generate a regular passive income on a monthly or a quarterly basis. Now, through fractionalization, we can reduce the entry point for an investor from 1 crore to about 1,000 rupees or less than that. So, with 1,000 rupees or something closer to that, you could buy a portion of a solar panel which will generate electricity, right? And which will be bought by certain consumers and you can make money. So, this is not Bitcoin. This is a digital title deed, and this allows everyone, common people like you and me, to invest in real world assets. And this is exactly what we're building at iWealthX. We're building an asset origination platform. We are not a crypto exchange. We are a bridge to the real economy. We find real assets, we bring them to the blockchain, and we bring them in a very transparent and Sharia compliant manner. Our intention is to create wealth and distribute wealth. So we have investment tokens where you can invest in assets like solar farms, maybe a coal mine, or in future maybe fractional real estate, which is already happening in Dubai legally. You could possibly invest in agriculture businesses. So that's the investment side of the business. Our focus is also that as a Muslim, when you create wealth, you also need to share the wealth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the construct of zakat, sadaqah, waqf, wasiyah to share the wealth. So we are creating what is called social impact tokens, where you can participate in social impact projects. You could also select how much of your zakat, sadaqah, waqf would you like to allocate to different projects when you're investing. So this is our attempt to create a society where everybody has an opportunity to create wealth in a halal Sharia compliant manner and also distribute that wealth. I spoke to you about the social impact tokens, and this is how they work. We are building what is called a give from gains protocol. Essentially, what this means is, let's say you're investing 1 lakh rupees into a solar farm. You bought a few tokens. Now you will make a profit out of it. And when you make a profit, you're supposed to pay your zakat, assuming you're a sahib and nisab, and because you're investing, it's understood you are, right? Now, every time you make investments, you have to calculate zakat, you have to identify the right kind of projects where you need to send that money. And when you send the money, most times you do not know how the money was spent, what was the impact that was created. And this is not because the NGO or the organization does not want to do it, but because it's very difficult today. It's time consuming, it's expensive. The system, the ecosystem does not exist for impact tracking. So what we're building is a give from gains protocol on a blockchain, which first of all will allow you to preset and decide which projects would you like to invest your zakat, sadaqah, and if you want to waqf something, you could put that money there. And as you make profits with your investments, the smart contract would automatically calculate that amount and buy those social impact tokens and send it to those organizations. So we have a portal for tracking the impact where our approved NGO partners would get that money, they would also transparently showcase how that money is being spent, and you will have complete records. We believe this is a first of its kind globally as well, where we are trying to track the entire chain in terms of who has donated, how much has been donated, to what project has it been donated, how was it spent, and what was the impact. I think this is very useful for everyone, because as an organization, the money that we receive as donations is an amana from people. It's very important for us to be able to showcase in a very transparent manner how, where, when did we utilize, and what was the impact. When you do that, donors get a lot of confidence, and they also appreciate the fact that they're able to see the entire impact, and they can see the impact that their money has created. We believe that will create a circle of virtuousness and good, inshallah. And so this is something that we're building within iWealthX. And I want to give you two examples of uh, such projects. One is a investment token that we are building. The other one is a social impact project, and hopefully that will give you an idea of the kind of work that is happening, and hopefully many of you will also take up similar work, inshallah, within India and outside of India, inshallah. We are currently in discussions with a university in Malaysia, and the university obviously needs to use power. They currently use power at a commercial rate. We are offering them a zero capex solution where they get these solar panels free. The university does not pay anything, but they get into a 20-25 year power purchase agreement with our local partner, which is an energy company. And Malaysia has implemented a new program called Community Renewable Energy Aggregation Mechanism, CREAM, which allows private operators to generate solar power. And so our partnership with this local company enables us to do that. So they do the solar installation, the management, and the maintenance, while we provide the tokenization technology for investors to invest and own either full panel or portions of the panel. So investors purchase the green tokens, they fund the solar panels, the university buys the power, and the returns are shared on a musharaka basis. Now, this is a pure investment project, perfectly legal, extremely simple to understand, with a real world asset, and allows everyone to access the power of solar energy and create wealth. This is our first pilot that we are discussing, and inshallah very soon we will launch this. The second one is we are working with this organization called Nasirul Quran in Malaysia. We are in the final stages of discussions. This is a very interesting NGO. They are focused on preserving the Quran and translating the Quran. They have taken up the job of distributing 1 million Qurans globally, translated into 30 different languages. This is an organization that is very well supported by the government. The bottom right corner, you see, this is the printing press where they print the Qurans. This is the second largest Quran printing complex in the world after Medina. They only print Qurans here, subhanallah, right? This is an organization that is currently working to distribute that 1 million Qurans, and we are looking to create a tracking mechanism for the distribution of the Quran. So today when they distribute the Quran, there is no way to know where it has gone. It just gets distributed to a partner in some country. But beyond that, where has it gone is not known. But we are building a tracking system for them, which whereby every Quran can be tracked to the final recipient, bringing in a level of transparency that was never there in the third sector. Of course, we are looking to work with them to build a waqf program for the Quran, where you could waqf a Quran, and they will, once you waqf it, they will be able to showcase whom it was delivered to, when it was printed. So each copy of the Quran will be tagged. This is an interesting project. This is an example of a social impact project that we are working with. Apart from this, we are so this is an example of the dashboard that the user will see. It'll show how many Qurans were printed, how many countries, what's the value generated, and they will also get a personal receipt like this on the left hand side, left hand bottom corner, right? So there will be a receipt. They also get a certificate of waqf when they donate a Quran. So if you donate a Quran, you will get your own receipt with a mushaf that is uniquely numbered, tagged, and you can track it, saying this is finished printing, now it is being transported, let's say, to a village in Indonesia, and then when it reaches the village, a person with a QR code scanner or a simple mobile phone can scan the QR code, and it will also get the data of the person, meaning you will know whom your Quran was delivered to. And these dots that you see here on the screen, these are the donated Qurans at the moment, which are geotagged. So you will see, let's say you donate 5 Qurans every month, or every one Quran every month, but in a year you've waqfed 12 Qurans. When you log in, you can see where your Quran is at the moment, right? That creates a different level of impact. You're able to see the impact that your money is having on people, on the society, on the community. So, inshallah, with this project, we hope to, create a new benchmark for transparency, for efficiency, and inshallah, combine that with the Give from Gains protocol. We are trying to bring in a level of trust and transparency in the NGO or the third sector, which has never been seen before, using technology. We have other projects in the pipeline. We are looking to, fund projects for people in need of food, shelter, specifically in the areas which are where there are really needy, war-torn areas. People need drinking water. So, inshallah, in the future, we will have social impact tokens that will fund all of these activities in a very transparent and clear manner. Now, all of you must be thinking, okay, this is fine, this is good, but we are in India. Can we do, if we have to make investments from India, can we make investments? And this is the elephant in the room, right? The regulation. Regulation is very important. I'm a firm believer that we must respect the laws of the land. In fact, iWealthX is a regulated platform. We are getting our license in jurisdiction called Labuan, which is an offshore destination in Malaysia. Also, very, very popular for its Sharia compliant framework. So regulation is very important. We have to adhere to the regulations. And within India, I think the government has been very, very careful about crypto, and rightly so, in my mind, because crypto is very speculative, and the experience has not been good. But you are allowed under the liberalized remittance scheme to invest up to $250,000 every year per person to purchase foreign securities or assets. And we are regulated foreign security in that sense, because we are getting a license in Malaysia. So the answer is yes, people can invest. You can invest in regulated digital assets. So the important point to note is it has to be approved and regulated in the country where you're investing, and you must do your own research before you invest. But there is an opportunity for you to invest your current idle assets. I think the future is very, very bright. And I would encourage all of you to look at how you can. So there are two options for you, right? One is for people who can invest globally. You could invest in companies like iWealthX with products that are regulated, of course, after you have done your research, and create wealth and distribute wealth. But for those of you who cannot, and also who want to do something within the country, I think you must explore options. And I think the WAFY campus is a great starting point, in my opinion. You understand the Shara'i elements, and you understand the Fiqh side of things. It's an opportunity for you to combine that with technology and create local solutions. I would highly encourage the WAFY graduates to explore options to become Sharia auditors, fintech architects, ethical bankers. Potentially, you could build solar tokens within India using a cooperative structure or an alternative financial institution route. And inshallah, we have the technology. We are happy to collaborate with local organizations if you need any help in the technology side. And I think we have access to scholars like Dr. Sharee'A, whom I'm personally also connected with, who has done a lot of work in India around cooperative banking, alternative investment finance, and the like. And then, of course, you may have also heard from Brother Saif Ahmed, who is an ex Wall Street banker who came to India to set up a Sharia compliant chit fund and ran it successfully, and today runs a Sharia compliant stock advisory company. So there are people locally available who can help structure this, and Alhamdulillah, this is a great blessing. And inshallah, we are open to collaborations on the technology side. We have the technology stack, and we continue to research. We are building stuff, which is very, very new. In fact, even our technology approach that we're taking is very, very different, very new. Typically, in blockchain, you have permission systems and permissionless systems. Permission systems are primarily used by banks, financial institutions, because you need more security, you need a lot more control. Whereas the permissionless systems are more like Bitcoin, which has a lot of opportunity for you to scale, in the sense of being able to distribute it, and more people can buy it, and it's easy, it's very open. So but we find that there are pros and cons to both the approaches. So what we've done is we've taken a hybrid approach. We've taken the permission blockchain and a non-permission blockchain and fused it together. We are using Hyperledger Fabric for the permission side and Polygon for the non-permission side, and we're creating our own hybrid system, which will give you the best of both worlds. So inshallah, there is a lot of research that we are also doing, and I encourage you guys to take up research. It's important that we step up and start working in this space, and inshallah create solutions that are beneficial for the local communities and the ummah at large, right? So finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a crossroad. If we were to continue with business as usual, we can we can keep thinking about how many basis points did we improve, what kind of small profit we made, and we can continue doing that. But what is important is that we need to deploy our idle capital, or what I call lazy capital, to create a Baraka portfolio, to create a system where companies, entrepreneurs, and the community can create more wealth. So here's a high level portfolio. Again, this is not financial advice, but this is just a guideline. Given how the world of digital assets and how the digitalization is progressing, I think for everyone who has money to invest, you must have a certain portion of your portfolio in tokenized assets, again, which are real world assets, Sharia compliant. Because there is a lot of non Sharia compliant tokenized assets out there, which are giving, fantastic returns, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help us as an ummah, as a community, in getting into those. So focus on a portion of your investments going towards tokenized digital assets. Equities are a great opportunity, especially Sharia compliant ones. And I'm sure Brother Saif Ahmed spoke about his company and how they are offering. I think they have a small cap Sharia Nifty index that they have launched, which is a very good product, and I think you should look at that. Uh, I don't need to tell the people of Kerala about the value of gold, Alhamdulillah. So I think your portfolio should contain gold, but I think you must try and see how much of it is there and try and deploy some of the idle gold into other productive areas. Then, of course, a small portion of your portfolio, if you can take that risk, should be put into innovative startups or ventures which you understand, where you trust the founders, where you know that there is expertise from the team can deliver it. Again, ventures are very risky. As per a statistic, 99% of the startups fail, but that 1% that succeed really go on to change the world, right? So it's a very interesting space, and you must allocate some portion of your investable wealth if you have access to that. So I think the idea is to drive uh, diversification with safety and growth, and then ensuring that every asset class serves the ummah and Islam. I quickly want to showcase our team. We have a fairly international team, and we have people in the US and Malaysia, in India, and also in the UK. We are very, very fortunate to have a fantastic advisory team. Um, we have people who are thought leaders in the Islamic finance world. We have Sharia scholars that are globally known and are thought leaders globally. We have ex central bankers with us as advisors, and people from the risk management community who have led, who have had very senior roles at a country level. We have distribution partnerships, we have international partnerships, we have local tie-ups with green energy companies, and also financial literacy firms, because we believe that this journey cannot go on without educating people about the benefits and also the risks of digital assets. I think as much as there is a benefit, there's always a risk, and we want to educate people to understand digital assets, be able to identify the good ones from the bad ones, and then inshallah, use your halal money to create more wealth and impact. Bismillahi ta'ala. So my final call to you is that if you are a student, learn more about digital finance, Islamic fintechs. If you are somebody who can invest, please invest in Islamic fintech startups. If you're an academic, write more papers, collaborate with companies that are doing work so you can deliver more models, and inshallah over a period of time, things should be really, really different for us. This is an opportunity for us to create a society which is very prosperous, very progressive and is driven by the Quran and the Sunnah. With that, I end my talk. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now it's a time for the audience to ask the questions about the topic.
Hello, hi. I'm Basit, a software developer. My doubt is, how can create a software, how can create a blockchain technology, a simple words. Please tell me about this process, blockchain technology.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, you want to understand how to create a new blockchain. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. There are existing blockchains that you can use, right? There is no need to create a new blockchain. What you really need to understand is or identify is what is your business use case, meaning what is it that you want to achieve, right? And based on that, you can study the existing blockchains that are available to figure out which ones are suitable for your business use case and implement that. But if you still want to create a blockchain technology, blockchain is very in a sense of creation, it's very easy because there are existing blockchains that you can simply fork. It's called forking. Forking means most public blockchains have the code available for anyone to use, so you can use it. But then a lot of people have built things already, so you don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? You want to be able to use what is available already. Like in our case, we didn't we didn't decide to build a new blockchain. We just took two blockchains and merged it in a way that is useful for us, for our business, right? So that is, it's more cost effective, it's more efficient, and you don't have to spend time building a new chain. Of course, a new chain would have its own advantages and disadvantages. I mean, the advantage is that you control the chain. But for us, we felt that there was no need to create a new chain. We took two chains, merged it, and we removed some of the things that were not useful for us, right? So there are different approaches you can do. So you can simply use existing blockchain, see if this is useful for your business, or you can merge two, or you can create your own. So to create your own, you take an existing blockchain and start writing code on top of it. So you'll have to learn a little more about blockchains. So there are two, three components around blockchain. One is blockchain programming itself. There's different programming languages, but to do blockchain programming, you typically would need to know at least JavaScript, um, and you have to have an understanding of how programming is done with some experience. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. So the easiest approach for you to start, I would say, as a student, is start learning about blockchain. Then understand how blockchain can be used for your business idea, and then during that process you will understand what is the requirement. But at the basic level, Java, JavaScript, HTML are basics. You must know this. Some programming language experience is needed. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have heard about hybrid blockchain, but I don't know what exactly it is. Can you explain that?
Sure. So, hybrid blockchains are a combination of one or two blockchains, right? So, for example, what we are building is a hybrid blockchain. We have created a system which is a combination of two blockchains. In our case, we have taken a blockchain system called Hyperledger Fabric, which is developed by IBM and Linux Foundation. And there is another blockchain called Polygon, and we have kind of created our own system based out of the two. So we use Hyperledger Fabric for a certain set of tasks, and we use Polygon for a certain set of tasks. And using those two blockchains in that manner, we have created our own unique, system. We have not created a new product, I would say, but we are utilizing different portions of a system, and this is a hybrid architecture. So hybrid is a combination primarily, right? Um, if you start your journey on understanding blockchains, then very soon you'll realize that some blockchains are good for certain tasks, right? For example, if you want to do anything related to banking, financial services, anything related to money, then you will definitely need permission blockchains, meaning where there is security, there is control. Not everybody can see it. I'll give you a simple example, right? If it's a permissionless blockchain, everybody can see how much money is there in your wallet, right? But if it's a permission blockchain, only people you give permission to can see, or you can see. That's it. Right. So you need to understand what is the business case for which you will use the blockchain, and then utilize it accordingly. But hybrid simply means a combination of more than one blockchain, one or two blockchains. Yeah. So blockchain, by the way, is nothing but a system of records. That's it. It's like a ledger, right? Blockchain is like your book that you're writing in. It's just that, think of the book as, if it's a permission blockchain, you need to give them permission to open the book. If it's a non-permission blockchain, anybody can come open the book and see what is there inside. And every time there is a change, it gets recorded. So there is nothing called eraser on a blockchain. If you write something, it's there forever. It's recorded. That is called immutability in blockchain, right? So blockchains have these features. I encourage you guys to start learning about blockchains. It's a very interesting area, and I think it's definitely going to be a very important technology in the future, inshallah. I hope that answers your question.
Hello. Sir, what are the main profit of the from fintech softwares? Example, Google Pay, Paytm, Phone Pay. What are the main profit area?
Okay. So if you're a payment gateway, right, then you can charge the user for transferring money. So that's one of the things that you could charge the person for. I mean, I think your question is how do these people make money, right? The Google Pay and is that your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Google Pay, unfortunately, does not disclose its revenue, so we don't know how they're making money or if they're making any money at all, because they do not disclose that. Some of the Indian payment gateways make money by charging a percentage of the money transferred as a transfer fee. That is the primary revenue model for payment gateways. But it's a very difficult business because I think phone pay and these guys give it free. They don't charge anything. I mean, when you transfer money using phone pay to somebody, do you pay anything to them?
Yes,
You
yes.
don't, right? What do you pay? You don't pay, right?
Phone pay.
If you were, yeah, if you were to transfer 100 rupees to your friend using phone pay, do they charge you anything extra?
No, but some mobile recharge and others just 1 rupees or etc. charging phone pay and Google Pay.
Yeah, correct. So for depends on the business model. The primary business model is a service fee. They could charge a certain small percentage of the amount that is being transferred to the recipient as a fee.
Okay, currently, or a software development company. Currently, we are developing a e-commerce website. That time, I need must a payment gateway. Currently, we are using Razor Pay payment gateway. But all payment time 1% charging in this. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. So Razor Pay is a payment gateway. You're right, and I think they charge a percentage of the amount transferred. It could be 0.5%, 1%, depending on the business. They and depending on what they have decided, they will charge. So yeah, that's the primary revenue model for payment gateways. It's a very difficult business because it's a commodity business. It's not an easy business to make money. A lot of people have to transfer money using your payment gateway, and you have to make sure that the money reaches the other person very quickly and efficiently, right? Which is a complex task. It looks very easy from the top, but behind the screen there's a lot of complexity in terms of multiple um, uh, parties working to make sure that the payment goes from your wallet to their wallet, right? But if you're doing a blockchain based payment system, then it's slightly easy. It's not very easy, but it's slightly easy, and it's more efficient. You can charge lesser, but again, that is a very competitive space. There are a lot of people already in that business.
Hello, sir. My question is, in a country like India, where the financial system is largely interest-based, what is the biggest challenge in implementing Islamic fintech for financial inclusion, and what are the possibilities do you see for its growth despite this challenge?
Very good question. What's your name, brother?
Alphas.
Brother Alphas, thank you so much for that question. I think it's a very relevant question. You're right. The banking law of India is primarily based on interest-based financing, and unless that is amended to include non-interest-based financing, I'm sorry to say, Islamic finance cannot happen in India. Okay. Having said that, there are opportunities, right? For example, the government has also given options for people under the Cooperatives Act, where you can organize yourselves as cooperatives and work for the betterment of the community and the society. That could be under non-interest based mechanism. right? So there is an opportunity under cooperatives. There's an opportunity under what is called alternative investment finance (AIF), which is a new structure. There is something that you could utilize, and with fintechs, with technology, you could potentially do some of those experiments. It is a good idea, and I think uh, because the people of Kerala have always been very innovative, enterprising, I think you guys should try that experiment, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay.
One last final question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
In what you said in solar panel tokenization, I haven't doubt for any. So my doubt is, you said we make an engagement with tokenization people and the local companies. So the energy will be used by the certain universities in Malaysia. So my doubt is how to use that energy, because the universities did not have any direct engagement in that process. So how it would be work?
In Malaysia, there is a new program for generation of power by private operators. It's called CREAM, CREAM, Community Renewable Energy Aggregation Mechanism, right? Using that program, the university will get into a contract with the power company, and they will, instead of now using regular power, they will use solar power. The solar power distribution also happens through the regular electricity company, the same grid. The grid is not different. For example, if you have the Kerala Electricity Board sending you power, tomorrow, if this system is implemented in India, our company will come in and do the financing for the solar panels where you can invest. So you can become an owner of the solar panel. The local private electricity company will set up that solar panels on your campus and generate power, and your university will buy that power at a slightly lower rate than what you are buying right now. And secondly, your university does not have to invest in buying the solar panels because you are investing as an investor, right? So they get a zero capex solution, which means they don't have to make any upfront investments. So the university will sign a contract to buy the power is generated, and when it is sold to the university, there is a profit, and portion of that profit will come to you as an investor, right? I hope that answers your question.
Assalamu alaikum. From
Walaikum
the
assalam.
Fiqh perspective, how should the digital assets on Islamic perspective can be classified? As the mal or property, or the haq is it is the right, or the manfa means utility. So these three dimensions, mal or property or right or haq or manfa, how three dimensions can be clarified in this digital assets? Or my second question is how the blockchain or cryptography, this mechanism is coming under the boundary of Fiqh Sharia concept, because the blockchain definitely means it's a digital ledger. Also another definition is also coming that the Sharia contains completely not complementing these digital ledger also. So what's your opinion on this digital ledger in Fiqh boundaries also?
Thank you, brother. What's your name?
Sahad.
Sorry?
Sahad.
Brother Sahad, thank you very much for the good question. Your first question about how do you define the asset as a mal or manfa or utility, right? depending on the project. And I'll give you an example. Certain types of token can be classified as wealth. From a fiqh standpoint, there are two elements, right? One is if the item has physical attributes, is useful and can be traded, then you can consider that as wealth. In certain conditions, there is urf, which is general consensus or the local agreement on certain things being considered as wealth. So the concept of urf applies as well. Certain products could be wealth. Certain products could be rights to use. For example, let me give you an example of right. If you're running a project where the token gives you access to something, then that would be rights. But if the token has intrinsic value, let's say for example gold, today you need to buy gold in 1 gram, and if I were to tokenize gold and create a digital version of gold, 1 gram gold, then that's a physical asset, right? And it is backed by, let's say, 1 gram of gold in a vault. So 1 gram of digital token is backed by 1 gram of gold in a bank vault or in some vault, and that is wealth because it is a physical asset in a digital form, right? So from a fiqh standpoint, you can take that ruling. On the right, if a particular token gives you access to do something, then that is a right. So it depends on the project, and the product. But your three classifications are correct. It can fit into any one of those, depending on what is the asset class and depending on what is the product and how it behaves in terms of whether it is tradable, whether it is physical. And with blockchain, let me explain, right? So what blockchain does is, if I have 1 gram of gold and I create a digital token and I link that digital token to the physical asset, and if I can verify that the physical asset exists, then the digital token can be treated as a physical asset. Okay? Subject to these three conditions. One, it has to be real commodity and it has to exist, and somebody independently should be able to verify that yes, this asset exists. And then using cryptography or using blockchain, I can link those two. I can link the digital asset and create, I can link the physical asset to the digital token. Right? And so that is possible. It is something that is currently allowed by the scholars based on these two conditions, that the asset exists, can be independently verified that it exists, and there is a clear link between the physical asset and the digital token. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, fine. Also, in addition to, you have already mentioned that about digital assets. Also, there was some discussion regarding the Security and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, regarding the digital gold, because there had so many scams or digital assets fraud also. So what's your take on that subject? Because the digital assets doesn't consider as also digital gold also. So why the differentiating elements between the digital assets in this gold also, in physical assets in the physical gold also? What's your opinion on that topic? Because SEBI also mentioned that these digital golds can't consider as a property. So what's your take on it?
So one is the law of the land, right? One is what SEBI is saying from a legal standpoint. Then there is a fiqh element to it, right? I am not a Sharia scholar, so I won't give you a fatwa or a fiqh opinion. I am a guy who understands Islamic finance. I'm a student of Islamic finance. I'm a technology guy. I've read a little. I continue to learn more. But I'll give you my understanding based on what my teachers have taught me and what I also practice, right? Hopefully, it should help you. So what SEBI is talking about is the legal side, and if SEBI says, look, it's not legal, it's not legal, because you cannot overrule the law of the land and say no, we will do this, because then you're in conflict, right? It's a problem. So SEBI's point is more on terms of the legality aspect, and I don't know. I have not read their statement. I don't know what under what context have they mentioned it. But in general, gold is a tricky item, right? Gold is a ribavi item. You know that there are very specific laws around the exchange and sale of gold. It has to be on the spot, hand to hand, in the same quantity, etc., etc. Without that, there can be riba, very clear, and it's a very very tricky item. So tokenizing gold has been a challenge even in countries like Malaysia, which have a very strong Islamic finance system, and only off late have they come up with a solution. But they have to work with the local regulators. So the Securities Commission, which is the regulator in Malaysia, and the LFSA, Labuan Financial Services Authority, where we are getting a license, they allow tokenization of gold under very specific conditions. They have given conditions. So as long as you follow those conditions, and they will have a third party independent auditor that will audit this anytime without even telling you, right? And so you should be able to prove that, let's say, the token that you have, equivalent quantity of gold exists in the vault whenever they audit, right? If that is possible, they allow it. So it's a very very strict condition. Now there have been a lot of scams, especially around gold, with or without tokens, right? Without tokens also there have been so many in India, but they have been very speculative. See, the easiest way to recognize a scam is if it promises you to double your money in 30 days. Right? If somebody tells you, give me 1 lakh rupees, 30 days later I'll give you 2 lakh rupees, 9 times out of 10 this is a scam, or even 10 times out of 10 it's a scam, because there is no investment that is going to double your money in 30 days or even 6 months, right? So when you see something that is too good to be true, it's probably a scam, right? If you need to understand which is a good product, you need to ask questions around what are my rights, where is this product stored, is it legal, is it real, and then you can figure out, right? So in a nutshell, I think with gold tokenization, it can be very tricky, can be complex, but with the right legal framework and regulatory framework, it can be done. It can be done in a safe manner. And it's a new product, so there is a lot of consumer education that is needed. Malaysia has had very, very successful attempts at tokenizing gold in the past. And even now, there are a few products where you can buy gold with as little as 10 ringgit. 10 ringgit is like what? 200 bucks, 200 Indian rupees. Right? With 200 rupees, you can buy a small portion of gold. Every time you have 200 rupees, you can keep buying. And once you buy up to 4.25 grams of gold, which is equivalent to 1 dinar, you can actually mint a gold coin and have it sent to your house. They'll send it to you. You can get a proper gold coin minted, right? So there are some products that are available in the market already. And this is promoted by the stock market of Malaysia, called Bursa Malaysia, right? So there are, as long as it's promoted by the right parties, there is enough legal compliance, I think there's a possibility. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's complete. So here is my final request. It's not question, but it's seeking some guidance or insights. So we are postgraduate students. So our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from his own time, we had the tradition of trade. So when this 21st century, it's Gen Z or Gen Alpha category, but they all are behind the professional or career growth. So what's your opinion, or could you give us any guidance regarding the trade tradition? How can we build a trade tradition on this Indian context under the shadow of Fiqh Sharia concept? So what is your guidance, or what's your insights on that topic?
I think it's a very important area to focus on for all the young people out there. If you were to go and work for some companies, for the first few years, it's good because you understand work culture, you will understand the corporate world. But eventually, you must look at setting up a business, your own business, whether that is a product business or a trading business or a services business. Entrepreneurship is one of the sunnahs, right? and we must focus on it. So, in the Indian context, there are, if you're really looking at entrepreneurship as a umbrella, there are so many things you could do, right? You could either do products, and when I mean products, I don't mean just digital products alone. I mean physical products. Then you can do digital products. You can do digital services. You can offer physical services. So the opportunities are there, and I think as a community we must focus on it. I don't know if you have an entrepreneurship center at the university. Maybe that's a good starting point. And as a community, Alhamdulillah, your state has always led everyone in the sense of community. You have a very strong sense of community, mashallah, compared to other groups among Muslims. I think you should continue to keep that sense of brotherhood, that sense of cooperation that you have among Keralites and Muslims. And I see there's a great opportunity. So uh, I think that should be the focus. Jobs are one thing. It's again, jobs, if you're working for a very large conglomerate or a multinational company, is good for you to understand how big companies work. That's about it. Otherwise, you won't learn much. But you should spend some time, if you have the opportunity to work for big companies, to understand how global companies operate, to understand their systems, their processes, and be able to implement that in your companies when you start them. Later in life, inshallah. So that's my 2 cents on this. I hope that was useful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. It was a complete package with deep insights and wonderful knowledge. Also, thank for clarifying the doubts and the questions. And I appreciate you for spending your valuable times with us, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.